Everybody. I am just going to take a minute here. I wanted to show you a tangulation. It's not really its own tangle, but it sort of is. It's a tangulation. It's like a merge of two different tangles. I call it TooSwirl, and it kind of looks like this. So I will leave this here for a minute in case you want to, I don't know, take a screenshot or whatever. I will also post this on my website and my Facebook, www.whimsybykelly.com and Whimsy by Kelly at her on Facebook. So anyway, it's a really simple tangle. Toodles is the tangle Toodles goes like this, right? Then you give it a fescue off one side and a fescue off another, right? Like that. And then you can color these in or you can add a pattern. I'm just going to do this really quick so that you can kind of see the two tangles that I'm talking about. So here is Sand Swirl, or I'm sorry, this is Toodles, right? I always think it looks kind of like a stingray, right? And then to shade it, oh, throwing stuff here. But to shade it, you would just add some graphite kind of in here and in here, just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension. Maybe a little bit right in here, just to kind of highlight the curves. And then you have this section to decorate as you will. Sand Swirl is one of my absolute favorite tangles. And Sand Swirl goes kind of like this. You just put these little fescue-y things wherever you want them, and then you evenly add auras. Right, which allows them to start to look like they're all woven together. Okay. And then to shade this, I'd add shading here, here, and here. And then, of course, anywhere they look like they would overlap. Okay, so this is Toodles. And then this one is Sand Swirl. Toodles is actually a tangle by Zentangle itself. Well, that one's put out by Zentangle headquarters. And then let's see here. And then Sand Swirl, I will have to look that up. I'll put it in the comments. But anyway, so I thought that the two of these would play nicely together. Right? I don't often create tangles that are compilations of other tangles. I just don't. It's I think we have a ton of tangles already and we don't necessarily need new ones. But sometimes it's fun. So we're going to go in here. And I like to create kind of like a little striping in the center section. So I'm just kind of making curved little lines, and then I will color them in, leaving a little highlight. Okay, and then I'm gonna arc my fescue, only I'm gonna make a more rounded fescue like I'm making Sand Swirl. Okay, You can color that in if you want to. I'm going to leave it empty for now, and then I'm going to add an aura. I'm going to add another aura. I like to alternate back and forth. And then I'm going to do a second aura. And then another second aura on the other side. We'll do one more. You can do as many of these as you want to. Depends really on how big you want these curves on the side to be. Okay, once I have it like this, I'm going to come to kind of this outer arc, this outer curl, and I'm going to bring that in. And each time I'm just making it a little smaller. And I'm following that curve all the way up. Okay, so then I'll do the other side. And you can match these up if you want to. Mine don't usually match up. They're close, but they're not exact. And then to shade this, I add some graphite on either side of the center line. I add some graphite on the swirl right here. And then I just soften that right in there, giving it a nice, kind of a nice deep blend. So it looks like this is into a little channel. And then here, I'm going to soften this as well. Okay, and I could call it done right there if I wanted to, but what I like to do is I also like to add a little bit of shading on all of these. Okay, and I don't worry about these first three, right? The ones that went all the way around, just because I've already got this as kind of their shading. But these other little ones that are kind of like stacked in tiers, I like to add those. So then I would soften my graphite, and what this is going to do is it's going to give it, it's going to make it look like it's like they're all overlapping. And it adds a lot of depth and a lot of dimension, and it just makes it a really fun little tangulation. Okay, so I did name it. I don't usually, but I thought this one was fun, and I like to call this TooSwirl. And then, like I said, it's not really its own tangle. It's not, but it's a tangulation of Toodles and Sandswirl. Have fun.